SteampunkFerretPresents.
Why? Bum, bum, ba, 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 here I am again. So anyway, here I am again. I'm glad you are with me again today, and I'm covering a subreddit that I've never covered before called r/Do you know who I am? At least, hold on. Don't you know who I am? Sorry. I've been on this subreddit and I've joined it a while back, and it's kind of hilarious because it's always people who are talking to somebody they don't realize who they're talking to, whether it be a celebrity or it's somebody that's a expert on the topic at hand and they don't realize it and they try to school the expert. It's kind of hilarious. I wonder if I'm going to have any Tony Hawk ones in here. Tony Hawk is always in the subreddit. Because people tell him, hey, you look like Tony Hawk. Did you know that? And he's like, I've been told that a few times. Ha ha ha. And apparently it happens to him all the freaking time. But anyway, I'm going to jump in here because this is a new one and I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope there's some pretty good ones in here today. But anyway, jumping in! Amir Adaran tweeted this. Speaking as a scientist with a doctorate in immunology, a lawyer who knows the liability of big pharma endangers folks, and a dad, I vaccinate my kids every single time. Always. You should too, please. And he posted an article. Nearly half of Canadians are concerned about vaccine safety. Here's why. Alright, so he was responding to that article. And then, oh look, honest mama. Amir, make an appointment with a neuropathic doctor. Several great ones in Ottawa. I don't know how to pronounce Ottawa. Ottawa?
Ottawa.
Thank you, oh great diction fairy. Anyway. You may learn something. It is not a black and white issue. I'm not going to give you my qualifications. It doesn't matter. One can always learn something new, even you. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. No, let's hear your qualifications, please, because science is not an opinion contest and qualifications matter. Mine include a PhD from Oxford University, where my thesis was in immunology. Yours? Pause for the crowning. Sir, don't forget your crown. Lady, this literally is his freaking lane. Why don't you move your ass out of it? The whole stay in your lane. Every time I hear that, it makes me want to, like, physically strangle somebody. Just stay in my freaking lane up. Like this one. Staying in your lane, you freaking... Anyway. So this guy, Don, is replying to Ben Hunt, who had commented on how the corona numbers seemed off, right? At times, I dislike the fact that finance pros become armchair generals, armchair quantum computer nerds, armchair disease spread scientists. I really never heard a chemist having a take on a current yield curve. I hate to say it, but sometimes you have to stay in your lane. Hey, Don. Hey, Don. Ben Hunt replied to you. I've got a PhD from Harvard in international relations, taught statistics for 10 years, and wrote a book on applied event count regression methodology. But please, tell me more about staying in my lane. People learn who you're talking to before you go insulting them or implying they don't know what the hell they're talking about. There we go. Hey, it's like 3 or 4 days later. I don't even remember now. But, you know, shit happens. So, moving on. How many times do I say moving on per video? No. Moving on. A lot of these cut off the conversation and you just get the excerpt. I wish that they wouldn't do that so I could see what the entire conversation was. But this person is replying to Buffy Wicks. And he says... How about you get off your ass and do something? Hashtag resist is BS. Very aggressive there. Run for office. Argue your points. Well, sir or madam, Buffy Wicks replied, I'm an elected member of the California State Assembly. You look like an idiot. Why don't you run for office? Shut the fuck up. And as this top commenter said, it's 100% okay if you aren't familiar with every single person in government, especially if it's someone who has a seat in another state's government in some form. But before I ever talk shit to absolutely anyone ever on Twitter, I would at the very least see that they were verified, little check mark next to their name, and find out information on them before I replied. All you got to do is click on their profile. How this guy didn't even take that step is beyond me. I would have even done that out of curiosity if I saw the conversation and wasn't even replying. When people reply to random people online, you can click on their name and you can see their profile. And especially if you're replying to somebody that has a check mark next to their name, that means they're verified, which means they might have, I might not mean anything, but it just, oh, they've got a check mark, they've been verified, well, let me check their page. Who are they? What are their expertise? Maybe I should check that before I start this conversation and not know what the frickin' frack I'm talking about. Do your research. Oh shit, this one's rough. Robert J. O'Neill. Checkmark. My advice for Pete Buttigieg: stop playing war hero. You're gonna get called out. Wool is not enough replied. How many wars have you served in? Dude. Again, click on somebody's name. Are you not familiar with who Robert J. O'Neill is? Maybe you should click on his name. Or maybe go to his website. He's allegedly the U.S. Navy SEAL who shot and killed Osama bin Laden. He's also done over 500 combat missions. And he has his own website, and he wrote a book called The Operator Firing the Shots That Killed Osama bin Laden in My Years as a SEAL Team Warrior. So, how many wars has he served in? Why don't you read his book? It's along the same lines as the person who posted about Natalie Portman asking if she'd ever even seen a Star Wars movie. I mean, that one's old, but just in case you've never seen it, this idiot. A picture of that stupid fucking hipster chick in the Star Wars shirt needs to stop. She probably hasn't even seen all the movies. What? This one? First off, it's not even Star Wars, it's Stop Wars. Secondly, I sincerely hope you're joking right now because that's Natalie Portman. She was in them. That was old. It's been around for a while, but it's still freaking hilarious, and I still can't believe that somebody actually posted that. I'm guessing this is a tweet from Tom Morello. Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine. And somebody replying to him saying, another successful musician instantly becomes a political expert. Dude, you obviously don't know anything about Rage Against the Machine. Tom Morello replied, one does not have to be an honors grad in political science from Harvard University to recognize the unethical and inhumane nature of this administration. But, well, I happen to be an honors grad in political science from Harvard University, so I can confirm that for you. Know who you're talking to, Dave. Have you never heard anything from Rage Against the Machine? They're incredibly political, just FYI. Somebody says, I like how he said instantly becomes, and dude has been raging against the machine for decades. I got a Tony Hawk one. Kid at skate park. Are you Tony Hawk? I am. No, you're not. Okay, I'm not. But are you, for real? I am, for real. I thought you'd look younger. Me too. I love Tony Hawk. One time a few years ago, I told this man I wrote about prosecutors, and he was so condescending. He told me his friend's wife covered prosecutors too, and I should try to get her to mentor me. And then my husband walked in, and it turns out I was the friend's wife. Linda Columbus tells this story. It's a story I'm sure is familiar with many women in STEM careers. In the elevator. Whose lab are you in? Mine. No, I mean, who is the PL of the lab? I am. In what professor's lab? The Columbus lab, and I am Columbus. You know how aggravating that must be? You see this in like movies and TVs all the time where this woman shows up to the scene of something or whatnot and everybody just assumes that she's just the person, and then lo and behold it turns out she's the boss or the bigwig. And it seems like a tired old cliche, but sadly it's not, because it still happens all the time. Like a doctor, authority figure of some sort, a scientist, anybody in a STEM field. For some reason, it's still this cliche that the woman that's there must be an assistant. I got that on a movie set, working as a special effects makeup artist, and I was in charge, and I had a guy that was assisting me, and everybody kept coming up to the guy, who was a friend of mine, and asking him questions and talking about it, and he would like refer to me because I was the head makeup artist. But for some reason, even a makeup artist, they assumed he was the boss. And that was so freaking annoying. It's so frustrating, especially when you've worked your ass off. They don't see you as the person that could possibly be in charge. And there's lots of guys that probably just don't understand. I don't understand what you're talking about. But if it happened to you every day of your life, in your career, in your job, in whatever, you would get pretty annoyed at it too. Rant over. Sorry, I got a little carried away there. It is kind of annoying, but done. Alright, anyway, so that's going to be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, go ahead and click the like button. If you like my stuff, go ahead and subscribe, blah, blah, blah. You know the routine. I've also got my email address below, SteampunkFerretPresents@gmail.com. If you got anything you want me to react to, stuff you want me to see as long as it's not gross, any artwork. I've gotten a few pieces of artwork, and I've actually considered, like, people who've done some pictures of me, and it's kind of cool, and I kind of like it. And if you do that, I will probably, I will feature it in a video. So if you got anything like that, go ahead and send it to me, because that would be awesome. And bye!